We'll say good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Another beautiful day that the Lord has blessed us to see. And as the children would say, July is gone. We're into August, and you know what that means. They're returning back to school right around the corner. I know this weekend was tax-free weekend, so a lot of people were out trying to buy those school necessities, getting the young people ready to go back to school, and we continue to be prayerful for just a safe return for all those teachers and students that across the country that get ready to go back to school. And that also means the wrap up to vacations for a lot of our college students. They're getting ready to embark back to their respective places, and so there's a lot of transition going on. Amen. So I'm pulling our lesson up, and we're going to do just a little quick recap of where we were last week, and then continue on in our study at John chapter 10. I know last week we talked a lot about engagement. We looked as a reference for those that may be just joining us. Our reference was back in Mark chapter 6, verse 34. I'll read that verse. It says, "When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things." And then I posed a question to the class. I said, we looked at how Jesus saw the people in need and how he responded with compassion. And so I posed that question, said, how do we respond when we see others in need? There we go. And I put up this initiative. I said, hey, how do we respond? Do we respond with pity? Do we respond with sympathy? Do we respond with empathy? Or do we go all the way up that continuum, so to speak, to compassion where Jesus was? And we talked about the different definitions. We talked about how pity is I acknowledge your suffering. We said that's the first thing we may see sometimes. Do we stop there? Next thing is sympathy. I care about your suffering. Do we stop there? Next stage is kind of empathy. I feel your suffering. I can imagine myself in your shoes. And then that last one, Brother Kevin mentioned last week, putting things into action. Do I have compassion? I want to relieve your suffering. We talk about it in many ways that can be done, whether it's us doing it individually or bringing attention to it and making sure that whatever that situation is, that there's some action involved with it. So that's kind of what we left off at last week. I'll pause before we continue on if there's any additional comments from last week. And again, welcome to those in virtual land that are joining us on our various platforms. You can type your comments into the chat and we'll have someone here in the building read that. All right, no comments, we will move right along. All right, so now going back to John chapter 10, we're going to start here at verse 11. I'm going to ask someone with a microphone to read verse 11.
I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
All right, thank you, Brother Love. So we see here it says, I am the good shepherd. And we've been on this study for a while. So who is that I? Jesus. Jesus is saying, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. Now notice that Jesus is the good shepherd. Also, the good shepherd will give his life for the sheep. Now you look at that word giving. You know, you look at words sometimes and there's always an opposite to a word, right? What's the opposite of giving or giving? Well, I meant take, right? Yeah. So you have givers and you have takers, right? And we see here kind of this attribute of this good shepherd, right? Jesus said, he giveth his life for the sheep. Yeah, comment, brother?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we get the microphone to Brother Steve here.
So in the previous verse, it talks about the taker. Thief cometh to steal and to kill. So there were takers, but he said, I'm come that you might have abundant.
Right. Amen, amen. But Steve taking us back, just that verse before, talking about those that, when you talk about leaders, those that were leading, those that were supposed to be good shepherds, those that were supposed to be doing things the right way, but they weren't. And Jesus is making that contrast, right? Hey, here are the examples of those in the Bible. Let's go back to that. All right, I'll tell you what, Brother Steve, will you go ahead and do verse 9 and 10 for us?
I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundant.
Amen. Right. So there's that contrast, right? Jesus said, I am the door. By me, if any man enter, he shall be saved and shall go in and out and find pasture. You put that illustration up of that sheep gate, that sheep door. Verse 10, the thief cometh not before to steal. The thief is coming to take, right? Just to take. Take that does not belong to him. And to kill, right? Kill, right? Kill others, not harm to that thief. The thief is coming to take the lives and to destroy. To destroy. When you talk about destroying things, that's usually bringing about chaos, right? Things are coming to an end. Jesus said, I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So Jesus said, not just life, but more abundantly. And we talked a few weeks ago about that abundance, what abundance means, right? It's not, hey, I'm gonna have an abundance. I never forget when I was a kid and I wrote a report one time in school. I was in 5th grade, and I can't remember what the report was about, but I remember what my teacher wrote in the comments. It might have been right after the holiday season, and I was writing about this Atari video game system I had, and all the video games that I had to go with it. And I never forget, my teacher said, your paper was starting off good if you wouldn't have got sidetracked talking about all your video games, right? Yeah. Abundantly, in this sense, is not about material possessions, right? What is Jesus talking about here when he talks about life, having it more abundantly? Any comments, thoughts? Quick, go ahead.
And he's talking about from the spiritual aspect that you'll have life, and abundance of that life. And God, I think it's alluding to the abundance